This week on the Digital Marketing Scoop, it is all about Google Ads. So we've gone and done a mashup of all our episodes around Google Ads. So if you're looking at starting Google Ads for your business, or you're currently running Google Ads for your business, you're going to get a lot of value from this week's episode. Hope you enjoy it. Within your Google Ads account, you're going to have a lot of valuable data that you can use. So one of the key areas is what's called a search terms report. So up at the top right of your Google Ads account, you'll have your reports. One of those reports will be your search terms report. So here Google is actually going to tell you the search terms, the key phrases that people are searching that led to your ads being clicked, and the data around those. So very often people will come to us and they're looking for SEO, their search engine optimization. They want their rankings higher in Google. But very often you don't know what keywords are going to be searched, what keywords are actually going to turn into results. And a great way that you can be 100% sure that the keywords are being searched, that they will generate results, is to use that search terms report in Google Ads. Because you've been running your Google Ads and now you know for sure these keywords are being searched. These are keywords I want to rank for my business. We know potential customers are searching them. So within that search terms report, if you order by the conversions and see which keyword phrases people are searching that are leading to the most leads and the most sales for your business. Again, that way, okay, now you know, okay, these three terms, these lead to an awful lot of customers for our business. We're not ranking for them organically. We're doing really well in Google Ads for them, which is obviously great. But okay, now we know this, we have this information. Let's put a plan together on the SEO side and the content marketing side to improve the rankings organically for those three terms. There's a great report as well called the search terms report. So if you do have a Google ad campaign running already, you can actually go in and see the exact terms people were searching. Yeah, exactly. So go in and pull out that search term report, and you probably will be very surprised by some of the keywords that you're that people are searching that are not related. Out. Yeah, well, I suppose there's the idea you're potentially missing out. Yeah, but also that you're getting traffic. You're like, how's that going to help me?
Yeah, exactly.
If you've been running Google Ads, a thing I love to do is to pull out the search terms report and actually find, the keywords that have been turning into leads and sales for you. Take those keywords, put them into a rank tracking tool, such as we use Moz here, but there's lots of different rank tracking tools, and find out where you are for your keywords at the moment. Because you may find if from your Google ad campaign, okay, I'm in position or page 2 for a particular keyword that's actually converting really well on Google Ads. Yeah. So if you start putting in some effort around that keyword to get you onto page 1, you can have a dramatic impact potentially on your leads and sales. So, start producing content around that keyword and distributing that content through social media. One thing we started doing here is doing infographics around certain keywords. So there's ways to, rather than kind of going for like a really broad keyword that you think, okay, I need to be on the top for this, is to actually try and use existing data for keywords that you actually know produce results. Because we all have ideas in our head of what the best keywords are to rank for. But until you actually know and have data that shows, okay, this keyword, which I've been using on Google Ads, is converting at 4%. Or this keyword is converting at 10%. So obviously it's more beneficial to put your focus on the one that's converting at 10%, given everything else being equal. So I think if you are running Google Ads, pull out your search terms report, find where you are ranking for those keywords organically, and then start developing content around the specific keywords that you know to produce results for your business. Negative keywords basically is, for example, you put in a keyword, and if somebody searches for that keyword, within your search terms, your ad won't show. So it's great to use for things like the word free, for example, is often a very common one. If people are searching, if you've got let's say actually, to use ourselves as an example, if you search for a digital marketing agency Cork and you have the keyword digital marketing agency Cork, but someone puts in digital marketing agency Cork jobs, you could use negative keyword jobs to make sure that you're not advertising under that keyword, because you're looking for clients, not employees.
Yes.
So
exactly,
that's a very good example of how to use negative keywords.
I mean, we talked before about keeping on top of the negative keyword list and things like that. The search term report will give you so much data. And if you, going back to what we were talking about at the start there, the broad match keywords, if you've been using them all along, you could jump into your search term report now and see what Google is bringing up
what
for your
actual search terms that your ads were showing
Google
for.
is taking the liberty of showing your ads to.
Yeah.
But I mean, the search terms report is great because you can straight away just start adding things to your negative keyword list. Just start weeding out because it's so important, because it really reduces your costs and it increases the relevancy of your ads as well, because you only want to show for certain search terms. I think one of the biggest mistakes that people can make with Google Ads is trying to be everything to everyone or all over the place. It's just not viable.
No.
You're not going to get your return on investment.
Plus, when you go into that search terms report, if you've all your conversion tracking all set up correctly, you're going to be able to find those little gems of keywords, like little long tail ones, and then you can pull those out and create separate ad groups and separate campaigns for those keywords.
Yeah.
So basically, this particular keyword converts well. Okay, let's focus on that. Keep testing on that, trying out different extensions, testing different landing pages, because that keyword works. Yeah. So let's start building on that and increasing that conversion rate.
And even one of your favorites, the single keyword ad groups, just pull out your best performing one and even just one of that. It's amazing how low you can get the cost on those. Yeah,
absolutely. So we'll say you've gone through your match types. You're quite happy now. Okay, my keywords are really good. So it comes time to write your ads on Google. So a really important thing here is to make sure the keywords that are in your individual ad groups are also in the headlines of your ad.
Yeah.
We all know ourselves when we search something, if what we searched comes back to us,
yeah, exactly,
like the answer to the question, whatever it is, we're much more inclined to go for that result.
Even if it's third or fourth down, I would always look for something very similar to what I've searched.
Exactly. And Google will charge you less if you have so you could be in position 1 paying less than somebody in position 2 because your ad is much better. You have a higher what's called click-through rate.
Yeah.
And you'll end up getting much better traffic, much lower cost per click, because your ads are directly correlated with your keywords. So this is something you'll often see. If you do a search for a product or service, and then the ad that comes up is maybe a competitor or related, and it doesn't have the exact keyword in it. That's that person's going to end up paying a lot more for the click. It's obviously not going to convert as well because it's less related to the keyword. So it's just really, really important to make sure that your keywords match your ads. Once you kind of know the keywords you want to rank for, then obviously it's hugely important that your site has content around those keywords. And for me, it's about being as specific as possible. So if you're want to rank for, I'm going to use very broad terms here, like a red car. Ideally, the keyword you want to be going for is red car with 4 wheels from Cork. You want to be creating content as specific as possible to the search terms, because there's obviously going to be huge amounts of competition around red car. But if you're producing content that's very specific and very niche, you're going to rank higher and much faster for that keyword.
Yeah. I mean, the long tail keywords are really coming into play now. I mean, the early days of SEO, your keywords were your keywords, and it wasn't a big, well, it was a big push, but it wasn't as big a push as it is now to rank for especially kind of the broader kind of terms. Like, imagine trying to rank number 1 for t-shirts, or, it would just be crazy.
And imagine how low your conversion rate would be because the keyword is so broad.
Exactly. So it's great to kind of really, really nail down. And I'm talking about even nailing down like sentences people search, like just kind of following that kind of trend. And Google will give you the longer versions of things.
Yeah,
as well,
and very much so down at the bottom of the results. So if you type in your main keyword into Google, then scroll down to the bottom and look at the related search terms that they give you. Some of those could be a goldmine, especially in terms of local businesses, because you're going to have a lot less competition around your local terms versus if you're competing for much bigger national terms. We'll say.
Yeah.
So another thing to do kind of straight away is once you have those keywords and you've been producing content for them, is the way you're structuring those on the site. So if you're producing content for them, still Google looks at what's called the H1 tag, the title tag of your content is still hugely important. So it's very important. Now you're not going to write your content for Google. At the end of the day, you're writing your content for the user to be as helpful to the user as possible. But within your title, you should have your main keyword in that title, and the title is still something that Google looks at as it's a huge weighting factor in terms of of what they're looking at on the page.
Yeah.
So like for example, again, if we look at our red car, your title of your article about your red car isn't just going to be red car. It's going to be the red car with 4 wheels in Cork. Yeah. Or how to buy a red car with 4 wheels in Cork.
You always need all 4. Yeah, it's a great thing to do with the keyword in the headers. I did some nosing about H1s because I was curious about them. But so I mean, best practice is always to have one. But Google's official statement on how they work those into the algorithm is that you can use more than one. Now it's not best practice, but Google isn't going to penalize you. But I can't imagine them doing too much. It's not going to make things worse anyway. A great thing for the headers is that if you include the questions, so using them as questions and answering them underneath. I mean, a huge thing at the moment is Google's featured snippets, and to appear in there is a great way to rank highly organically, as well as that voice search will pick those snippets up now.
Yep. So
if someone asks that question into Google Home or anywhere, then that's what the answer is being fed from, and that's a great way to boost your rankings organically as well.
So extensions are when you see your ad on Google, you might see a phone number on the ad, you might see links underneath the ad, you might see the business's location under the ad. These are all extensions that you can add to your regular text ad on Google. And because that screen real estate, especially on the phone, is so valuable, having those extensions means that potentially if you have all those extensions in on mobile, your ad might be the only one showing above the fold on a mobile device. So those extensions are extremely important because they're going to increase your click-through rate. As I say, you're going to get a lot more screen real estate, and overall it will just improve your Google Ads campaign dramatically.
Yeah, and alongside that, I mean, especially if you're bidding on your own brand and stuff, people are probably looking for your location or number or a certain popular page. Some businesses just have that one page that they know everyone's going to or something. But it's great to be able to incorporate those into your ads as well, because as well as the real estate space, you're probably giving your customers exactly what they're looking for straight away as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the next one is only having one ad variation in each ad group. So this comes down to basically, if your keyword, you go Sound Engineer Cork again, and you have only one ad, you don't know if that one ad is working well or not, because you could do a second ad and a third ad and a fourth ad and a fifth ad and test them all against each other and see which is converting best, which is getting you the best click-through rate. And that can make, again, an absolutely massive difference to your campaign.
I'm always amazed by how small the variations need to be to make a change. Like even just say if you were Sound Engineer Cork, sometimes even just Cork sound, you don't know. It's so even just the smallest copy changes make a huge difference. Massive. And it's I don't know how it works sometimes, because I'm just like, oh, I'll give this a go, and I'm always surprised.
Which is why it's so important to be constantly testing different ads.
Yeah.
So one of my favorites, not split testing advertising creatives. So this kind of comes back a bit to the one where we're only having one ad variation.
Yeah.
But we'll say if you're doing display advertising or you're doing YouTube advertising, Gmail ads, all the other types of ads you can do through Google Ads. Again, you need to be designing different creatives and testing them against each other. Yeah. So 100 people might see one ad, 100 people see another ad, but that second ad could convert much higher. It could engage people much better. So that is just key to really successful digital marketing overall. But within Google Ads, you need to be testing those creatives, whether they're banner ads, YouTube videos, it just has to be done, really.
And no matter what strategy you have, like if you've gone, right, here's my target audience, this is what they like, this is what they don't like, you can never put down on paper how a creative is going to perform. You can never, just like I was saying earlier with the ad copy, just the slightest variations make such a difference. Yeah. I mean, like a low quality image versus a high quality image alone will make a huge difference. Not to mind having different images, but I think right across the board that creatives, if you're thinking that you need to make one video or 2 images to split test, I'm talking 6, 7, 8. Like especially with images. I mean, if you have the availability to create that many creatives, there's no reason not to test them. Yeah.
So the first thing to be aware of in your Google Ads account is that Google is going to make recommendations to you. A lot of these recommendations are probably not that great. You've also got to remember Google essentially wants you to spend more on your Google Ads. That's their ultimate goal. So you really need to examine the recommendations that are made through the Google Ads platform before you apply them. Often the recommendations can be increase the budget. That may not be right for your business. It can also be things like reactivating a paused campaign. Again, maybe that campaign was paused for a reason previously, and now Google is telling you, oh, you're missing out on traffic. Reactivate this campaign. Yes, you might be missing out on traffic, but it is a good quality traffic. And that's the key to Google Ads, is it is really good quality traffic that's actually turning into leads and sales for the business. So that's the first thing. Really, really be careful of those Google Ad recommendations. Double, triple check them. Make sure they're right for your business, because just because Google Ads recommends it, it may not be right. Second one is to focus your keywords more on buyer intent. So if you find you're getting a lot of traffic, but it's not really turning into leads and into sales for you, you may need to examine how broad you are with your keywords. And you may want to use keywords that have more buyer intent. So what do I mean by buyer intent? Well, for example, if you take the keyword Hurleys, okay, you might sell Hurleys online, but if you're bidding on something like the keyword Hurleys, the traffic is going to be very broad. They may not actually have intent to buy Hurleys online. Now, if you're bidding on something like buying Hurleys online, Hurleys for sale, those people are showing buyer intent with their keywords. They're searching based on the fact that they're hoping to purchase a Hurley online. So it's important, especially if you have existing campaigns running and you find, God, these aren't converting at all. Really look at your keywords and examine, okay, are these very broad? Are these people actually going to be interested in purchasing my product or service, or are they very, very early on the research phase? And you may want to be, depending on how your campaign is structured and your brand, you may want to be in front of them early on that research phase. But if your goal is return on ad spend, then really think about the intent of your keywords and the intent of the person searching those keywords. Because if you can increase your keywords to have more buyer intent, you can really increase your return on ad spend. So quality score is actually used to calculate, is part of what's used to calculate the cost per click. So if you have a really good quality score, you can really help your Google Ads campaign, because you can bring down your cost per click. In fact, it's entirely possible if you have a bad quality score, you could be in position 3 paying more than somebody in position 1 who has a good quality score. So, okay, how do you improve your Google Ads quality score? First thing to look at, make sure your landing pages are extremely relevant to the keyword that people searched. So, for example, let's use the Hurleys example again. Somebody searches for a goalkeeper Hurley. You don't want to send them to your generic Hurleys page with all your Hurleys on it. You need to send them specifically to the goalie Hurleys. That way you're giving them the content that they specifically search for, rather than making them hit a page that's not relevant to them and potentially bouncing off your website. So you really need to make sure that, okay, this is the keyword, this is the content they're going to see on the landing page. These are highly, highly related to each other. It's exactly the information that they're going to want to see. So that's really, really important for your quality score. The other thing is your click-through rate. So your click-through rate is basically if 100 people search a term and one person clicks it, that's a 1% click-through rate. The more you can improve that click-through rate, the cheaper you're going to pay for your clicks. So it's really, really important to make sure that your keywords are in the ad copy. That can make a massive difference. So again, if using that Hurley's example, somebody searches for a goalkeeper Hurley, in your ad copy is the keyword goalkeeper Hurley. They're seeing exactly what they search for. That's really going to improve your click-through rate. You often see, where you search for something and the first ad up there might not be directly related. It might be indirectly related to the keyword searched. That click-through rate is probably going to be very poor, and they're going to be paying a lot more for the clicks that they are getting. So it's really, really, really important to make sure, again, putting yourself into that customer mindset of, okay, this is what they're searching. If I was searched that, what is exactly I would want to see in that ad that is going to pique my interest and let me know that it's exactly what I'm looking for. So doing that will really help your quality score, which is going to bring down your cost per click. Thanks so much for listening to this week's episode of the Digital Marketing Scoop. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't subscribed yet, please jump into your Apple Podcasts, your Google Podcasts, Spotify, whatever your favorite podcast platform is, and just make sure to follow and subscribe. Also, if you'd like to leave a review if you enjoyed the episode, I'd absolutely love for you to do that. We put out an episode every single week, all with digital marketing tips, case studies, ways to build your business with digital marketing. Also, if you are interested in bringing your own business online or looking at scaling your business, we'd love to chat with you here at CLIQ. You can visit us online at CLIQ.ie.